Atlantic TV. My name is Mike Egobadio. Here are our top stories. The federal government centralized passport production after 62 years of multiple centers. Olu of Warri visits Nigerian Defense Academy, urges cadets on character and service. Sheyi Tinubu can even challenge his father for presidency, says Bawa. And Mayumi Idris appointed Nigerians OPEC national representative. And on the foreign scene, Trump blasts Putin. He's really let me down over Ukraine. And on sport, Jose Mourinho returns home as Benfica appoints him new coach. Now to the news in full. For the first time since 1963, the federal government has ended passport production at multiple centers, moving to a single centralized system. The Interior Minister, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, announced this during an inspection of the new centralized passport personalization center at the NIS headquarters in Abuja. Tunji-Ojo described the development as a game changer, promising Nigerians a faster turnaround time from 2 weeks to as little as 1 week. He explained that the centralized system aligns with global standards and President Tinubu's reform agenda, boosting the credibility of Nigerian travel documents. The minister emphasized that automation and optimization will not only improve service delivery, but also restore confidence in the passport issuance process. This milestone, he said, signals the beginning of a total passport system reform in Nigeria after 62 years of decentralized production. Now, with the new centralized passport production, the government says Nigerians can now expect faster, more secure, and more reliable passport service. According to the minister, the reform will improve efficiency, enhance integrity, and reduce processing time. Old machines could only produce 300 passports daily, but the new system can deliver up to 5,000 passports in just 4 to 5 hours. The Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, rolled out full military honors on Wednesday as they hosted His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, the Olu of Warri, in a historic and colorful visit. His Majesty commended the cadets for their dedication, urging them to be worthy ambassadors of their families. The Academy and Nigerian Armed Forces, the monarch, stressed that character and value remain the bedrock of national security, echoing themes from his earlier lecture at the HESKI-BU 2005. The visit underscored the synergy between Nigerian traditional institutions and military authority, highlighting their shared role in fostering unity and strengthening the nation's security architecture. The Olu of Warri engagement at the NDA reaffirmed the growing bond between cultural heritage and military tradition with a clear message: service without character is incomplete. The monarch, fresh from delivering a keynote lecture at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, was received with ceremonial salute by the Academy Commandant before addressing cadets on discipline, character, and service to the nation. The Olu of Warri, His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, has stressed that Nigerians' fight against insecurity must go beyond military action to include strengthening family values. In his lecture titled Strengthening Family Values as the Force for National Security, the Role of Traditional Institution, the Olu of Warri described moral integrity as a force multiplier for peace and progress. He said restoring societal value was critical to nation cohesion and resilience, adding that security challenges require both tactical responses and a moral reawakening. The monarch commended the AFCSC for integrating diverse perspectives into its training and urged officers to embrace a value-driven approach in their careers. After the lecture, His Majesty was received by the Commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy, where he briefly addressed cadets, charging them to uphold discipline, family pride, and the Academy's honor as they advance in service. The Olu of Warri concluded by calling for unity, integrity, and collaboration as pillars of a secure and prosperous Nigeria. The special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on policy communication, Daniel Bala, says Sheyi Tinubu is qualified to contest for any office in Nigeria, from Lagos State Governor to even the presidency against his father. Bala highlighted Sheyi's role in bringing youths, including those from opposition movements, into government, stressing that he does not discriminate politically. He recalled moments when himself criticized Tinubu administration without affecting his relationship with Sheyi, describing him as mature and respectful. The presidential aide urged, or rather argued, that Sheyi stands out from many children of past leaders with no scandals or controversy linked to his name. He ordered that Nigerians should judge Sheyi by their personal encounter with him, not by inherited perception about his father's politics. Bala remarks had stirred fresh debate over Sheyi's Tinubu's potential political future and whether the president's son could one day step into the nation's top office. Speaking on the Clarity Zone podcast, Bala dismissed claims that Sheyi's rising political profile is due only to his father's influence and described the president's son as humble bridge builder among Nigerian youth with reputation for helping young people across party lines. Rivers State has officially returned to democratic governance as sole administrator, Rear Admiral Ibas, retired on Thursday, handed power to Governor Simi Fubara. Ibas, who was appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March to stabilize the state amid political turmoil, highlighted achievements such as conduct of local government elections, reconstitution of statutory boards, and the passage of the state budget by the National Assembly. In his address, the retired naval chief warned that power without restraint can cripple institutions, and rivalry without dialogue endangers democracy. He called on Rivers people to put progress over division and pledge his continued service to Nigeria even after office. President Tinubu had earlier announced an end to the state of emergency, clearing the way for Governor Fubara's reinstatement and the full restoration of democratic institutions in the oil-rich state. Now, with the handover complete, Governor Fubara resumed leadership as Rivers began a new chapter after months of political turbulence. At the farewell ceremony in Port Harcourt, Ibas declared that law and order had been restored after 6 months of emergency rule, urging Rivers people to support Governor Fubara in the spirit of unity and dialogue. Still in Rivers, the Rivers State House of Assembly has asked Governor Similaye Fubara to immediately forward a list of commissioner nominees for screening and confirmation. Addressing this, the Speaker stressed the urgency of filling vacant commissioner positions to ensure effective governance across the ministries. Lawmakers further underscored the need for a functional budget, warning that without an appropriation law, state projects and services could stall. The resolution comes just days before Governor Fubara's reinstatement to office. Now, following the expiration of emergency rule imposed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March, political watchers said the directive will test the governor's ability to mend ties with the assembly amid lingering tension in the state. With river politics entering a fresh phase, all eyes are now on Governor Fubara as he resumes power and faces new demand from his lawmakers. The lawmakers also directed the governor to begin work on an appropriation bill for the remaining part of the year. Both resolutions were passed Thursday during the Assembly's first plenary since the end of a 6-month emergency rule. Well, we'll go on a break now, but when we come back, more news across Nigeria as well as foreign, business, and sport. Join us again.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make her a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Naija Celebrity Type Man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company has announced the appointment of Mariamu Idris, Managing Director of NNPC Trading Limited, as Nigeria's national representative to the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. The NNPC highlighted Idris' extensive track record in the energy sector. She previously led pricing and valuation in the company's crude oil marketing division and served as technical advisor to Nigeria's OPEC delegation. Her career also includes key roles in Nigeria's Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, as well as contributions to oil sector reforms under the Bureau of Public Enterprise and the Oil and Gas Implementation Committee. A graduate of the University of Abuja and the University of Dindei, Idris is expected to work closely with Nigeria's OPEC governor, the Minister of Petroleum Resources, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to safeguard Nigeria's energy interests. The NNPC congratulated her on her appointment and expressed confidence in her ability to represent the country effectively on the global stage. Mariamu Idris' appointment comes at a critical time for Nigeria as the country seeks to balance domestic energy priorities with its commitment within OPEC. Idris, who will retain her role as NNPC Trading, will serve as the country's principal technical liaison within OPEC and has also taken up a seat on the Organization Economic Commission Board, where she will be contributing to the critical policy advice and technical deliberations. Away from that, the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers is set to hold its flagship 2025 annual conference in Abuja, where digital innovation, ethical governance, and sustainability are the heart of discussions. Slated for October 16 and 17 at the Los Angeles Event Center, the conference will feature keynote speeches, plenary sections, technical panels, and a career fair for students. Key topics include fintech, blockchain, artificial intelligence, ESG investing, investors protection, and financial inclusion. Committee Chairman Sahid Bashiru said that the meeting comes as Nigerian targets a $1 billion or $1 trillion economy, stressing that the capital market must lead the transformation. The CSI Vice President Fiona Ahime highlighted succession and sustainability and youth engagement as central pillars, noting that many young Nigerians fail to prey, or rather fall prey to Ponzi scheme due to lack of financial intelligence. She said the institution is committed to empowering the next generation with credible pathways in finance and wealth creation. Widely regarded as Nigerian premier capital market gathering, the CIS conference promises unmatched opportunities for learning, innovation, and collaboration. The two-day event, themed Capital Market and Digital, Ethical, and Sustainable Era, charting pathway for economic transformation, will bring together government leaders, regulators, investors, and the international experts to explore more Nigeria's capital market can drive long-term economic growth. Away from that, now to the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump says Russia leader Vladimir Putin has really let him down for refusing to end the war in Ukraine, despite what he described as their once close relationship. Trump met Prime Minister Starmer, the Czech's country resident, after Wednesday royal pedantry at Windsor Castle. Starmer has pinched himself as a bridge between Trump and Europe, pressing for more commitment for Kyiv while also securing a landmark UK-US tech trade deal. The two leaders signed an agreement covering artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and nuclear energy, with more than 150 billion euros of American investment pledged by firms such as Microsoft and Google, but differences remain. Trump confirmed one of our few disagreements was over British plan to recognize a Palestine state, while he also suggested that the UK could deploy the military to tackle illegal migration. Earlier, Trump hailed the unbreakable bond between the US and UK, praised King Charles as a great gentleman and a great king, and told Winston Churchill's artifacts are the checkers. With Trump sharpening his stance on Putin and doubling down on trade and migration, his visit ends with a pledge of closer UK-US ties, but lingering questions about how far he will go to pressure Moscow. Speaking at the joint press conference with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday, the final day of his state visit, Trump admitted he believed Ukraine could be the easiest conflict to resolve. The US leader also urged European nations to stop buying Russian oil, insisting lower prices could force Moscow to abandon the war. Now, talking sport, Jose Mourinho is back in Portuguese football after 21 years. Benfica confirmed his appointment as head coach on Thursday, handing the 62-year-old a contract running until 2026-2027 section. Mourinho return marks a homecoming. He first managed Benfica in 2000 before resigning after just 11 games. From there, he rose to fame at Porto, winning back-to-back league titles and in 2004 Champions League crown. The success landed a career across Europe elite clubs: Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Tottenham, Roma, and most recently Fenerbahce. Benfica fans hope the special one can restore glory after years of frustration in Europe and guide them deep into the season's Champions League. Mourinho takes charge immediately with his first major test set for September 30th against former side Chelsea in the Champions League. The two-time European champions sacked Bruno Lage after their shock Champions League defeat. Mourinho also left Fenerbahce in August, now faces immediate renewal with Chelsea and Porto in the coming weeks. And still talking sport, Manchester City striker Erling Haaland has set a new Champions League record, becoming the fastest player ever to score 50 goals in a competition. The record-breaking goal came in City's clash against Napoli at the Etihad, where Haaland opened the scoring to etch his name further into football history. The striker pulled his level with Arsenal icon Thierry Henry on the all-time UCL scorers chart, sitting ninth overall. For many pundits, Haaland features underlined his status as the most prolific centre-forward of his generation, with expectation that he could soon chase down Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's long-standing European tallies. For Erling Haaland, it's another milestone reached and perhaps just the beginning of an era of dominance in European football. The Norwegian reached the milestone in just 49 appearances, breaking the previous record of 62 games held by Dutch legend Ruud van Nistelrooy. At 26 years and 22 days, Haaland is also the second highest to hit the landmark behind PSG Kylian Mbappe. Well, anyway, with that sporting news, we'll come to the end of the news. We'll always implore you to go drop more as it concerns the news on our different social media platforms, and we'll be happy to have all of it. But anyway, we'll still continue. This is Viewpoint. My name is Michael Gobadia. Bye for now.